on mute.
You're 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 on mute.
Why do you look so confused? Open those system preferences. Click on that sound button because you're on mute.
I don't care. Whatever.
We're here.
I mean,
Yeah.
anybody got any juicy topics?
Yeah, we can talk for a half hour before he gets on, and then it'll be more of a surprise when he pops on.
Did you guys see they are charging Alec Baldwin with involuntary manslaughter
Oh
did
my
see that.
god!
Are you serious?
from that from the movie shoot where the gun went off?
Yeah.
So they are he's charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter in the death of Helena Hutchins and Hannah Gutierrez Reed, who is the armorer, so like the professional who like oversees the weapons or whatever, is also being charged with 2 counts of manslaughter.
That one I kind of get.
Yeah, I feel like at that point it's a professional responsibility,
Absolutely.
but like it's not Alec Baldwin's professional responsibility to know that a prop gun is loaded.
Right. It's like,
got-
why was there even live ammunition on set?
They gotta, of course they have video of it.
Mhm.
You know, it would be interesting. I mean, of course, that's the thing. Like, oh, I want to watch that, but you know, like, it would be interesting to see.
I bet the movie never gets released
No.
What go? Yeah, what's
because like
Tyler's asking? We're not pushing it back.
Yeah, that is horrifying. Yikes.
I mean, he wasn't like intoxicated, was he? Because I know he's
No.
had issues with that before.
From what I can tell, reports said like he was sober. There wasn't any like alcohol involved. It was just during a shoot, they had a loaded gun.
Oh, that's so scary. But yeah, I saw that when I was eating lunch. I was like, holy cow. I'm not surprised that they are charging the armorer or whatever, but I am surprised they're charging Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, because it's not his responsibility to check that the gun is loaded with prop ammunition. He's just handed a gun and told to point and pretend shoot it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Patrick, I feel like you've probably seen this movie. The Crow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was killed at the end of the shoot in a similar situation. I don't think anyone was charged with that, were they?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that one's
That's a good
that
movie.
that movie definitely came out, you know. And
What's
but
the
I think
thing that should only happen one time ever in the
And
history
should be
of all
enough,
movies, and that should be it.
well, and of course that, I mean, from a marketing point of view, I know we're not on our podcast yet.
Or are we?
We could sync that in. From a marketing point of view, that I think helped that movie gross to some legendary status, because immediately when it was out, it was kind of this, I don't know.
It's a cult
Go-
classic. Like,
Yeah,
I would
well,
consider
and
It's called The
that.
Crow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it immediately
have to
became
watch it.
something.
Ripley's son.
Yeah, something you wanted to see just because of that. You know, it's like it's like the car accident on the side of the road that you can't pull your eyes away from. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you don't want to look, but you're like, oh my god, look at that. You know, like.
Well, and I think with that one, wasn't it like the last 2 scenes or something they were shooting when it happened, because then they brought in his body double to finish, because they were like 98% there, and they're like, well, you know, if we're already there. But yeah, that grew into like a cult classic, and it's still a great movie. If you haven't seen it, Kara, I would strongly recommend it.
What's
Yeah, and
funny is I've definitely seen thirst traps of this character from The Crow on TikTok. I've been on some weird places in TikTok, and I'm like, wow, that's definitely. I think it's literally like.
Sarah, what else are you watching on TikTok that is?
I would love to
leading
know.
that type of.
I know. I'm like,
thirst trap?
sometimes the shit that comes on my For You page, I'm like, I've never seen this before. I don't think I've even Googled this, but for some reason I got a thirst trap of The Crow.
That's morbid.
Yeah, I only see what one of our clients sees on TikTok. So
That guy's dad is Bruce Lee.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Maybe we're gonna need to have a Crow watch party while we're doing a podcast.
Dude.
Patrick,
Yeah.
I was thinking about what you said about like, from a marketing perspective that really helped the movie. Like, I think that's kind of a testament to just how lecherous marketing is in general.
I was going to ask that too. What's your opinion on the old adage, all press is good press?
Not in today.
I'm just interested.
Not in today's society.
Mm-mm.
I think there's first off, you don't know what is real and what's not.
Yeah.
I've had multiple situations recently where I told, for some reason Michael J. Fox comes up in a conversation and I'm like, oh, he died. Do you know that? And Natalia's like, what? He died? And then we look it up and it was like something that was just posted on Twitter and Instagram one day. So it just slid through my feed and I was like, oh, Michael J. Fox is dead, and I didn't look into it anymore. So just in my head, he's dead. And then last night, we're watching the last few episodes of Ted Lasso, and there's a Cheers joke on there, and Natalia said that she had to kind of look it up because she's not a TV person. So I was like, oh yeah, it's a Sam Malone and whatever, the Kirstie Alley character, and I was like, I think she died too. And then we look it up, and she actually did die in December. But it's just like it's just the feed, it's the social media feed. So I'm like, well, I guess this person's gone. Oh, that person's canceled. Oop, that's
become a meme. Anytime anybody's name is trending on Twitter, there's like 100,000 tweets. Did they die? Did they die? It's like people automatically.
No, I get it. Yeah, it's like every time Bob Dylan is trending on Twitter, that's what I see and think. So it looks like Jason's coming on already.
When you get death rumors, that's how you know you really made it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that's how you know you're famous. If you are trending on Twitter and they're like, oh my God, they're dead, but you're alive.
Well, you know who the original death of rumor was? Paul McCartney.
Oh yeah.
So wasn't that like in a paper or something?
It was started by a Drake DJ, actually. Paul McCartney rumors of his death in 1969. So there's so many death clues. There's books written about it, all this sort of thing. But finally, Life magazine found him on his Scottish farm, and he said he was alive and well. But yeah,
could you imagine that before social media?
You got to look into
you and your thing, hanging out with your cows or whatever he was doing, and a reporter goes, "Paul McCartney, did you know that you died?"
You gotta look at it.
Go to the Scottish farm to find him.
We could do a whole podcast on that. You got to look into it, Maggie. There's some crazy stuff. Like at the end of Strawberry Fields Forever, John Lennon is saying cranberry sauce, but it sounds like I buried Paul. There's all these crazy clues. Anyway, I think we just recorded a separate little extra podcast for our Patreon followers.
There you go.